You know this. Black people invented everything.
All black inventions return to us permanently, and if you want to use it, you must pay us a percentage. The cell phone, we invented that. Internet, that's ours. Helicopter, that's ours. So guess what? Anybody running lights, you paying black people. We had hundreds of thousands of acres of land stolen from us. We need to put together a research team that's going to investigate all the land that was stolen from African people.
Hello Stormtroopers and welcome to Fast Cat XXX. This episode, this installment, we are going to talk about Black Lies Matter. Not Black Lives, Black Lies. Now, why are we talking about Black Lies? Well, because the lies are so damn prevalent. You might have already seen some of the nonsense on social media. You know, certain black people are making their rounds telling everyone that black people invented everything.
You know this. Black people invented everything.
Baby, see, when you know real facts, it's no need to argue with fiction, baby. Black people created every motherfucking thing on this planet, baby. Don't I look like one of the ancestors? Let me pause. What did we create? Agriculture, animal breeding, architecture, art, astronomy, business and trade, cash and currency, ceramics, clothing, dance, economics, healthcare, housing, jewelry, mail.
Absolutely everything, which is utter fucking bullshit. We need to set the record straight. Now, why are they lying about everything? Well, there's a certain element in the black community that may have a Napoleonic complex, or they're looking for some sort of reparations of some kind. They believe that they built America, which is utter bullshit.
I was in charge of the reparations conversation. All black inventions return to us permanently. Everything we invented is a permanent patent for Africans. And if you want to use it, you must pay us a percentage. The cell phone, we invented that. Internet, that's ours. Helicopter, that's ours. Self-lubricating engine, the microphone, the stop sign, the walkie-talkie. Why are those lights on right now? Because a black man named Lewis Latimer wrote a textbook that taught China, the UK, Canada, and America how to light up a whole city at night. Without Lewis Latimer, you don't get street lights at night. You don't get constant illumination anywhere in the world. So guess what? Anybody running lights, you paying black people. Take back ownership of our music. Take back ownership of our inventions. Next on the list is all the confiscated lands.
Look, we could play the game this man is playing, or any of the others. We're playing this game that the black man invented everything. But we can do better. We can name the inventors who actually invented things from scratch. Unlike what this guy's doing, claiming someone invented something when what they actually did was improve an invention. There's nothing wrong with improving an invention. That's fine. Do it. But don't claim that because he did that he actually invented the thing. Improving an invention is light years from coming up with an idea and developing it. Stop lying. So, we have to address it. We have to call them out. Now, you liars out there, you guys pulling this bullshit, you know who the fuck you are. You need to stop this nonsense. Stop fucking lying. Black people didn't invent everything. Now, look, there are so many inventions because, you know, they say they invented everything. Every fucking thing.
even though we couldn't get a patent while we were enslaved, black people have over 50,000 patents. We created almost everything in the house. The modern refrigerator, the modern toilet, the modern doorknob was created by a foundational Black American. The light bulb. When they try to say that a black person helped a white person, that means the black person did it himself.
That's a fact.
The light bulb, Lewis Latimer was the one who really came up with it. He was working for Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison was infamous for stealing people's stuff.
That's a fact.
You work for me, anything you build, I own it.
Yeah.
A light bulb, they say, well, Lewis Latimer created the filament. That's the light bulb.
That's the light bulb.
That's the light bulb. Other than the filament, it's a piece of damn glass.
Well, yeah, everything else is just design.
Right, it's a piece of glass. So he created the light bulb.
Yeah.
But they
All right, Stormtroopers, here's the deal. Like, follow, and subscribe. Help me get found out here in the wasteland. We can't touch on everything. We're going to cover a few of them. A few of them that are worthy of covering because they pretty much impact us on a daily basis. So we'll cover a few of those. But we need to talk to these fucking liars. These fucking liars. We need to tell them to stop fucking lying. It's not going to do you any good. You're embarrassing yourselves. Now, if you want to talk about the inventions, there are some fine inventions that black people have invented. You know, some things. Talk about those, but do your research. Dig into it. Inventions, look, they work in a process, on a hierarchy. Someone invents something, and then somebody else comes along and says, you know what, I can do this a little better. I can improve something, and move it on up the chain. That's the way it works. These inventions change as time wears on, okay? So don't act like, oh, black people invented something and then that's it. Doesn't work that way, all right? So, let's do it. Let's talk about a few of these inventions. Leave it at that. If you want to dig into the rest of them, go right ahead. There's far too fucking many that need to be addressed. But let's talk about some of the highlights. Those things that affect us on pretty much a daily basis. All right? So let's do that now. Let's start with the remote control. A black man did not invent the remote control. He was into a little part of it. Okay? We'll talk about that. Ah, yes, the remote control. Big black lie. Now, Joseph Jackson did not invent the remote control. Try to claim that he invented it for the DVR, TiVo, VHS. He did not. Now, he devised a way to improve the V-chip for parental control. So who invented the remote control? Well, that goes to Robert Adler and a guy named Eugene Pauly. They invented the remote control. All right? You can see that here.
Ever wondered who invented the remote control? It all started with a flash of light. In 1955, engineer Eugene Pauly created the Flashmatic, the first wireless TV remote. It used beams of light to change channels. Though sensitive to sunlight, it paved the way for modern remotes. Today, we control everything from TVs to smart homes with a click.
Now this one, the shitter, the toilet. Black man did not invent the toilet, but he modified it, basically made it into something that maybe you could picnic on. I'm just kidding, all right. But a black man did not invent the toilet. Okay, look. Regarding the toilet, a black man did not invent the toilet. But what Thomas Elkins did is he turned going to the bathroom, going to the shitter, he turned it into an event. He added some mirrors, a couple of shelves, drawers, things. You could bring your breakfast there. Imagine, you're having coffee, having something for breakfast. You could have it right there, so you could have your breakfast and go to the bathroom at the same time. Turn it into a whole event. Got some shelves there for your coffee, your cups, places to put your plate, that kind of thing. And that's why this is why black people don't make it to work on time, because they spend all that time in the morning in this having this event, going to the bathroom. I'm kidding. Jesus, relax. I'm kidding. Just joking. But no, Thomas Elkins did not invent the toilet. End. Stop. Now, the helicopter. No, let's tell the truth. Black man did not invent the helicopter. No, that's Sikorsky. It was a Russian guy. Let's talk about that. All right, look, when you go online on some of these websites, when you're looking for black inventors, you can go to the internet and you can pull up hack sites like this one, Black Culture News, and you'll find that they will make false claims about black inventors, like this one with Paul Williams. It says, meet Paul Williams, the black man who invented the helicopter. That's simply not true. He is not the inventor of the black helicopter. That goes to Sikorsky. Now, what is the issue with Paul Williams and the helicopter? Well, his design was more theoretical. He did make some contributions to it, but Sikorsky is the one who invented the helicopter. His helicopter was built, it was tested, and it passed the tests. Paul Williams, his contribution was more theoretical, and like I said, he did make some contributions. You should look into that, but be careful of these websites that you go to. They will make false claims. You need to dig a little deeper, but if you want to make claims about black inventors, do so. There are black inventors out there, obviously, who made serious contributions, but don't go along with the first thing you see with some of these hack websites like Black Culture News, okay?
He was a Russian by birth. He fled the motherland one step ahead of a Bolshevik firing squad. He designed and built the first four-engine airplane, the first airplane with an enclosed cockpit, and together with Charles Lindbergh, cooked up the seaplanes that made international airlines practical. For all his fixed-wing achievements, however, he is most closely identified with helicopters. For it was the helicopter company he founded relatively late in his life that turned his name into a household word. He is Igor Sikorsky, and he is a legend of air power.
Oh, here's another one. The traffic lights. Everybody talks about the traffic lights. Black man did not invent the traffic light. Let's tell the truth. Okay, so here we go with the traffic signal. Now, Garrett Morgan, black man, did not invent the traffic light. That invention has been, well, it was going on in Europe and here in America with a number of people. I'm not going to get into all of that. It's a cloudy kind of history, but he did improve it by adding the yield light. Okay, because before that it was just stop and go. Red and green, stop and go, and that means people would just kind of rush through the intersection. He added the yield light to it, which means, hey, you better slow your horse down in that intersection, otherwise you're going to get hit by a car. All right, so he did do that. Now, he did invent a number of other things that I'm not going to get into, but those are important as well. All I'm saying is, tell the truth, tell the whole story. Don't go by some of these sites on the internet that's saying that he invented the traffic signal. He did not, but he did improve it. He did, however, have some other inventions that you should know about that I'm not going to get into. But if you're interested in the black inventors and their history, tell the truth. Tell the truth. This man was an important man. He did a lot of good things. All right. And here's a favorite one because, it's something that we deal with every day. The refrigerator. No, a black man did not invent the refrigerator. But let's tell the truth about that one.
In 1755, Scottish professor William Cullen conducted one of the earliest documented experiments with artificial refrigeration. Using a vacuum pump, Cullen was able to create a small amount of ice through rapid evaporation. One of the key figures in the early history of refrigeration was Jacob Perkins, an English inventor who patented the first working refrigeration machine in 1834. The late 19th century heralded a new era in refrigeration with the work of German engineer Carl von Linde. In 1876, von Linde patented the first practical refrigerator using ammonia as the refrigerant. His innovative design featured a closed-loop system that circulated the ammonia gas, condensing it into liquid form to extract heat from the interior of the refrigerator. This marked a significant leap forward in refrigeration technology and laid the groundwork for future advancements. In 1913, Fred W. Wolf Jr. introduced the Domelra, the first commercially successful electric refrigerator. Unlike its predecessors, the Domelra utilized an electric motor to drive a compressor, which circulated a refrigerant through coils to extract heat from the interior of the refrigerator. This innovation made refrigeration more accessible to the average consumer and paved the way for the widespread adoption of electric refrigerators in homes and businesses. The early 20th century witnessed a rapid expansion of the refrigeration industry, fueled by advancements in technology and manufacturing. Companies such as General Electric, Frigidaire, and Kelvinator emerged as leaders in the field, producing a wide range of electric refrigerators tailored to the needs of consumers. Improvements such as automatic defrosting, adjustable temperature controls, and larger storage capacities made refrigerators more convenient and efficient than ever before.
Oh, wow. Well, that was some interesting refrigerator history, huh? Now, but who invented the modern refrigerator? That was some black guy, right? No, I'm asking the modern. Who invented the modern, the 2025 refrigerator? Nobody knows. Nobody. Look, not one person alone invented the modern refrigerator. These are components that come up from history, improvements, innovations. They happen all the time. That's the way it works, people. Come on. Stop with this bullshit, this who invented the modern refrigerator. Look, Charles Tellier, he's the guy who devised the mobile refrigeration unit, the mobile refrigerator system. Of course, there's going to be some people that say that this guy, Frederick Jones, came up with it in the 1930s, 1940s. And they're claiming that this black guy did this. Well, Frederick Jones isn't black. Okay, his father was white. His mother was black. Why some people claim that he's black? I don't know. It's because Obama had a white parent and a black parent, and they call him black. Well, you know what? I'm calling this guy white. Why? Because I can. Because he had a white parent. So, play that game. Let's play that game. All right? Over. Done. All right, Stormtroopers. Here's the deal. Like, follow, and subscribe. Help me get found out here in the wasteland. All right, and now to the famous light bulb and the alleged controversy regarding its invention. Well, look, the light bulb has seen a number of iterations going back to at least the early 1800s in terms of what we might consider, something of a current iteration of the light bulb, glass and filament and so forth. But let's talk about regarding Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison is credited with the invention, and rightly so. He owned the company. He hired the inventors. Okay, that's the way it works, people. If I own a company and I hire people to create, to innovate, to invent, that's what I hire them to do, and I own it. If I pay you to do something for me, I own it. And Thomas Edison owned it. Now, Thomas Edison is credited with a number of inventions, as we know. But regarding the light bulb, we can talk about, let's go with Lewis Latimer, because that's what, black people bring up. Lewis Latimer. Lewis Latimer he innovated on the light bulb. He didn't invent it, but he innovated on it, okay? He improved it by improving the filament with carbon filaments. All right, now that worked, but what it did do was it caused the glass internally to become dark and cloudy from burning the filament. So, and that's back in 1882. Now, in 1903, Willis Whitney, he invented a treatment for the filaments to allow them to burn bright without darkening the insides of the glass bulbs. Now, a lot of people complain that Lewis Latimer, he didn't get he wasn't receiving recognition for the work that he did, but actually he did. He received a patent, but to demonstrate, he worked for Edison for many years, and you can see in the photograph here, there's a company photograph. He started with Edison as a young guy, and he stayed with him for a number of years. You can see the old guy there. There he is in the company shot. He's an older man now. So it worked out really well for him. So stop the fucking complaining about Lewis Latimer. All right? Light bulbs have seen improvements ever since then. But, nobody's claiming, somebody else invented it after Lewis Latimer and blah, blah, blah. All this bullshit. Stop. All right. So that's all I'm going to deal with. I'm done with this bullshit. Now, I think that's really all we need to cover. That's enough truth-telling right there on just those few items right there. We're not even going to talk about the big ones like the cell phone or the internet. Those are too big to talk about because, a black guy didn't invent either one of those. What I tell you, that's it right there. On those items, black people did not invent. All right? So again, I'm talking to you liars out there posting this shit on social media. Stop. You're not helping your cause. You're not helping your cause at all. All right? That's it. That's all I've got. Well, there it is. Now, we have to ask, why? Why do some black people feel the need to claim that they invented everything? Talked about a little earlier, regarding this Napoleonic complex, this sense that maybe they feel inferior to other races, to the so-called white race, but maybe it goes deeper, maybe it goes more complex than that. Maybe they have this need, or maybe they're pushed by some black activists like Al Sharpton. Maybe there's this need to go along with these racist activists like that. If you claim that black people invented everything, then you are a racist, because you have to know. You have to know that's not true. If you claim black people invented everything, then you are the racist. And yes, black people can be racist. Everybody can be racist. Okay? So if you go along with that, then you're the problem. You're the one. If you believe that black people invented everything, you're disregarding everybody else in the universe. Shame on you. Shame on you, man. You shouldn't be thinking that way. Because along those lines, what you're doing by claiming black people invented everything, you're the problem. You're the one who's now being a separatist. You're breaking down the walls that have taken decades and decades to build. Now you're tearing them down. And every time you make a claim, you're putting a brick back up on that wall. You're separating yourself from the rest of the world. You're separating yourself from your brothers and sisters in America. You're the problem. You're the problem, because you know it's not true. You know it's not true that black people invented everything. Come on. You're reaching. You're really reaching. There are some claims out there that blacks invented the internet, and it started with the African drums, as if they're drumming some sort of code. Come on, man. Come on. You're being ridiculous. But you're being a separatist, a segregationist. You're trying to remove yourself from the rest of society. And if that's your goal, well, it's working. Because now, we've had black-only dormitories, black colleges, and now you're doing this with inventions. You're an invention activist, and now you're a race separatist. And that's what you are. If you claim that black people invented everything, you're a race separatist. Okay? And now you know why some people are getting black fatigue. And it's getting beyond black fatigue, because if you take blacks invented everything plus racism, well, then you've got black exhaustion. That's where I'm at. I'm a little tired of it. I'm not going to excuse it anymore, but I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being called a racist. In fact, I'm so tired of being called a racist, I don't give a shit anymore. It doesn't even bother me anymore. Okay? Because I've been pushed over the edge by this kind of bullshit. So I'm not backing it up. I'm not backing up black people making claims about, in these inventions. I used to excuse that kind of bullshit years ago. No more. I'm done. I'm finished with it. So get your shit together. Tell the truth. Stop lying. Because black lives matter. And that's all I got to say. Fast Cat, XXX, out. All right. I want to thank all the stormtroopers who joined me today, who came and watched my video today. I'm asking you for some likes. So follow me. You got to give me some likes. I'm looking for at least 3 likes. I would like 3 likes or more. Follow me. All right. Well, you got to like my videos. You got to. They're not bad, right? Okay. Like me, follow me, share, repost this stuff. That's good. And you know what? Send me some comments. I don't care if you like my material or you like it. I mean, that's fine either way. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. Send me a comment. Tell me you like me. Tell me you hate me. Whatever. All right? It's good either way. I'll deal with it. But you got to like some of this stuff. Come on. Anyway, until next time, this is Fast Cat XXX. Meow baby.